What is the most surprising thing you have accidentally overheard about yourself? At a wedding, a bunch of dudes were commenting on how nice my butt looks. Apparently they'd all noticed. I'm a dude. Thanks gay brothers. It was a confidence booster. They had us in the first half, not gonna lie. At rugby practice, we were told to match up by size. After me and this guy pair up, the coach announces this is a speed competition between the pairs and everyone started giving my partner that sucks comments. Apparently I'm known for being really fast for a tight 5. I was also told by one of the props you're like a gazelle out here today. I feel like every team has that one spooky fast lock, and let me tell ya, as a H, I appreciate you. When people say my name, I show up a few seconds right after, like some sort of summoning spell. Apparently, it happened enough times that people commented on it. A boy who was normally far too cool to talk to me told my friend Aiden that a poem I had written for our creative writing class was freaking funny, and I still feel proud about it. Used to smoke a lot of weed. My floor manager and head chef would refer to me as green eggs and ham cause I was cooked all the time. Really opened my eyes to what I had become. Yeah, if you get called out on doing too many drugs as a chef, you need to take a serious look in the mirror, Mayo. She always says that what you have inside is most important, but inside she has nothing too. That's what I heard my grandma saying about me to my younger brother, who just chuckled in response. Still haunts me to this day. Jesus, I really hope she's already done enough random crappy stuff that doesn't bother you too much. That just isn't something people with feelings say about their grandchildren. I started my first year as a teacher last year, and a few months in I had to watch over a group of students doing a career day training activity. I was monitoring the class and I overheard 2 students talking. Student 1, you have Fangor as a teacher, right? Student 2, yeah. Student 1, he seems like so much fun. What's he like? Student 2, he is the greatest teacher I've ever had. He is so much fun and great at explaining maths. I think about my student saying that at least once a week. I meant the world to me. I didn't even think I was that great of a teacher. A coworker referred to me as a snake recently. It's such an awful adjective, especially considering I just come to work, do my job, and leave. I'm polite to everyone, but I'm a one-person department and basically keep to my own work, but help people when they ask questions. All of her co-workers have complimented me on being a lot more knowledgeable and more helpful than my predecessor. In totally unrelated news, I got the job she wanted. What a weird coincidence. Look at you, being helpful and crap. You must be planning something vile over there in your one-person department. Don't even try to cover up your dirty fangs full of venom, you monster. I overheard a rumor that I was only cast in a certain role because I was really Jewish. As an Italian Catholic, I would say that was surprising. Overheard a classmate during swimming lesson saying she has such a nice body. I hated my body at the time and struggled with an eating disorder. Helped me stop doing what I was doing. I'm glad to hear you're doing better. Eating disorders suck. Some time ago an ex of mine was on the phone arranging a game night with some of his friends. I was right next to him and heard the guy on the phone ask him if he would also bring his smoking hot girlfriend over. For a second I thought, WTF is this dude talking about? Cheating scenarios in my head. But then I catched my name. Never mind the freaking compliment. I am not being cheated on. Following up with a bad one from the same guy, again on the phone with my then boyfriend, after we'd gone out drinking a few times. Dude, holy mouse is totally cool. When I first met her I was like, what a freaking B. Yeah, after that one BF always gave him a heads up that I was right there next to him. One of my sweetest friend was talking to our department admin and the admin asked her, isn't I love Masomufals the sweetest? It really made my heart melt and just made me love them more. Just the fact they think of me that way. I was so grateful to have such people in my life. I love your username. I overheard my brother once tell my parents that I was the best natural athlete out of the 4 brothers, but I was just lazy. This was coming from my brother who played college baseball and football. I always thought that everyone thought I was a fat slob, but that comment made me think back to the fact that I could do some impressive things for a big guy and I was faster than most would suspect. Quite a few years back, a girl I was involved with for a summer and really liked moved away for college. A few years later, she ended up publishing a little book of poems, and in it, there was one about all the guys she ever kissed. Of the names on there, I was one of the 2 that got complimented. More importantly, he listened, which meant a lot considering the other guy is now her boyfriend of many years. I keep a photo of that poem on my phone for when I'm feeling depressed. It helps remind me I'm not a terrible person. To be fair, you could still be a terrible person, just maybe not to her. He's an idiot. He has no idea what he's doing. My co-worker in college talking about me to my boss in a film equipment lab, which was my major, and which I was a junior at the time. Thank God I didn't have anxiety or depression to the level I have now. That might have really fricked me up. I'm with Matt Tiester. He sounds jealous. It's kind of like calling a woman ugly or a bee. If that's what's coming out of your mouth, then you probably can't think of anything better to say. People don't like her because she can be blunt, but she always tells the truth, even if they don't want to hear it. For the record, I'm not one of those just saying folks who use that phrase to be mean. I always try to be mindful when I provide feedback. I didn't realize that my mindfulness still wasn't enough for some people. My therapist once said honesty without tact is just being mean. It's focusing your intention with the feedback that can help. I overheard 2 colleagues talking about me. I couldn't hear what the one person said about me, but another person was like, no, name. Cool, the jury is still out on that one. Posted this before, but I was in the lobby of my dorm studying for class when my 2 friends came in high as a kite. They asked me if I wanted to smoke with them, but I told them I had to finish this homework and declined. When they walked away, I heard them say, "Yuhinro is smart. We should be like him." Have never let them hear the end of it. I don't know where we'd be without him. Less than a year later, I was no longer at that company because the same person called me selfish for wanting a pretty fairly deserved raise. His beard just makes me want to squirt. Some girl in line behind me at a restaurant waiting to pay. Strangest way to compliment a beard, and I was honestly grossed out even though I love a squirter. Had to let that soak in for a minute. In high school, boarding school, I walked into one of the lounge areas to see what my roommate was doing and overheard him, my ex, and another girl talking about how I was an alcoholic. I only drank on Saturday nights. It was weird and I was pretty surprised. Binge drinking is a form of alcoholism, for what it's worth. Not overheard by me, but overheard by someone else who told me. Someone told her that they think I have a good smile. I've always hated my smile and always tried my hardest to hide it. I still do out of habit. Been doing that for years. But I've been told by a friend I really have to stop doing that because she likes my smile. See, I'm getting more comfortable showing it now. If a complete stranger and a friend like my smile, dang, I don't know why I am so insecure. I'm one of 4 people in my department. I overheard a meeting between PMs and the boss. He said if you want it done quick, anyone can do it. You want it done right in the time frame you want, give it to Mexican American. It made me feel so good as I didn't even know the boss knew who I was. Only met him when he started. This thread has made me realize that people don't say anything about me. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing though. Only thing I can remember is someone saying, "He doesn't give a frick." But I don't know the context behind it. I really don't give a frick about most things as I am not a difficult person to please, so hopefully they meant that. Everyone says things about everyone. You just haven't overheard it. Worked in a pharma research clinic where the participants mainly spoke Spanish. Being El Gringo that understands a lot more Spanish than I speak leads to interesting things. Compliments to curses. Sounds like coward syndrome if they can't talk crap in the language they assume you speak. Bit of a martial art compliment I overheard whilst I was sparring. These two guys were watching me and said his kicks are so fast and accurate. I then proceeded to throw every kick I knew after such a confidence boost lol. I've never met a man this stupid in my life. Having him around might actually be a health and safety violation. I hate the way he just sits there and stares. Oh my god, he's doing it right now. Can he hear us? This is 1 inch of soundproof glass. It's not possible. Why is he smiling like that? Went to a wedding as someone's date. After I got introduced to the family, my date got pulled aside by her mother and asked if I had a beer bottle in my pocket. Thanks, Wrangler. My downstairs neighbor just got evicted a couple hours ago because she has no control over her toddler who screams and cries all day. She also screams a lot too and has been warned to keep it down by the landlord several times. She was outside on the phone talking to her mother about it and blaming me for her eviction. I was eavesdropping. She referred to me as the fat cow upstairs. She's twice my size. Really great to make out with at a party. You shouldn't date him though. It was very true at the time. Helped me a lot actually, eventually. Really great to make out with at a party. It was very true at the time. Humble brag SMHS. Two bakers at my local bakery were talking about me. I used to come in almost every day, and one time as I was coming in, one of them said she has a cute smile really made my day because I hate my teeth. When I was in high school, some girl who I had never spoken to before spread a rumor that my friend and I had a threesome with her. It was a small school and people quickly realized she was a little off her rocker, and a month later she left the school for mental health reasons. But it was interesting walking past people gossiping about my threesome, which was news to me. All the time people spread rumors that I'm a nasty communist because of my Russian descent. It really surprised me when I heard one of my best friends insulted me about it behind my back. We aren't friends anymore. I went and purchased something off of Craigslist with my older cousin about a year ago. Just recently someone told me that apparently my cousin told his wife that he's never seen anyone haggle and negotiate like that before and was dumbfounded. Not that big of a deal, but to me it was because of my past history of poor money management and being a complete pushover. So to me, hearing my cousin, someone who I really respect a lot, say that made me more happy than it probably would have for most people. For me it means that I'm becoming more confident in myself, and I guess it's starting to show. I overheard a close colleague say insert my name is just jealous. I looked at her, she quietly shut up, and I sat back down at my desk and I was just sat there for ages pretending to work, trying to figure out what I was jealous about. 3 months on, I still don't know. I was going to call her out on it, but she is new to the team and I couldn't be asked having an awkward conversation to figure it out. As like most people, I come to work, do my work, stay out of office politics, and I go home. Usually, so and so is just jealous is a comforting response when someone tells you so and so said something cruel about them. A new colleague of mine asked if I could help him out with some work. After helping him out, I asked why he came to me for help when there were others people he could have met. He said someone told him to specifically come to me if he needs any help with work because I apparently have all the answers. It made my day. The nicest one was I never knew she was so pretty. I used to hide behind long hair. Never looked up and I had a bad dye experience and ended up needing to cut my hair to a pixie, and my coworkers didn't know I was hiding while they chatted due to feeling self-conscious. The worst was my own mother. Only reason I adopted her was cause I figured she'd turn out the way I wanted. Knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have wasted my time. She fricked everything up when she reported the assault. Weak little bee, those words are absolutely burned into my heart and memory. Someone I was flirting with at a party called me goofy, which struck me as odd because I take things too seriously sometimes. Later, when we were dating, the person told me that I remind them of Chandler Bing, which made more sense since he's easily the most jokey of the group but also fairly neurotic. What the heck is going on with his hair? TBF. What the heck is going on with my hair? I have, like, no hair plan whatsoever. It's sort of a Jeff Bridges thing without the styling. Back in high school I had a boyfriend, and during lunch some girls from my class, we'd Classic mean girls were gossiping about me and saying things like, I can't believe Berenbas has a boyfriend. I always thought she was a lesbian. It's probably to cover up the fact that she's a lesbian. It was incredibly staggering to me, not so much because of what they said. As I mentioned, they were classic mean girls and I honestly didn't care about their opinion any longer at that point. But because I was sitting with my group of friends right next to them and could hear every single word, so they either didn't realize that I was sitting there or were purposefully talking loudly to hurt me. I suspect the latter. I definitely lost some faith in humanity during high school. She's only been with us for 14 years when I was 14 years old. Still don't know what that was really about, but I think my parents might be aliens. Some people were calling me a S and a W because they saw me hugging a guy, assumed that he was my much older boyfriend, and they just assumed that a 15-year-old had an intimate relationship with a 26-year-old. That guy was my second cousin, and last time I checked my name isn't Cersei. What is life? My name's not Cersei. Not Cersei. No more. Thanks to a friend I knew, someone from my uni nicknamed me Hitler. I barely know him and I can't stop feeling bad about it. In 8th grade I walked in front of a group of black girls at school and one said damn, that is a fine butt. 35 years ago and the memory is crystal clear. I think it may be the only positive butt remark I've ever received. Overhearing my older sister telling my dad that she thinks of me as the most selfish and inconsiderate person she has ever known. Just a couple weeks after I'd spent a sizable portion of my minuscule paycheck to get her a spa day since I'd said she looked really stressed. At a party when 21, a girl I used to sleep with years before this was telling another girl that she knew I wanted to sleep with, that she had to sleep with me, and that she had been comparing every partner since then to me. It was flattering, but it threw my game off. I never got to sleep with that girl, but we did become friends and still are a decade plus later. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.